we have this thing on Twitter, hashtag Priest Family. And that really is how we feel, you know. I mean, if there was a way we could meet every single one of our fans and shake their hands and say thank you, we would. But we've got this hashtag Priest Family which keeps us all together.
I think, did you ever see the parking lot? Yeah, that sort of sums up some of our friends anyway. But, you know, then we've got, it's great because not just Priest, but metal in general is so underestimated. You know, it's such a popular form of music. I mean, look at the kids out there, you know, 70 or 80,000. And you go to the far corners of the earth and play in Chile or places like that, and 15, 20,000 kids come out. It's a really underrated form of music. And I think people should start to respect it a little bit more now, because it's a big part of many people's life.
The guy who has the tattoos, he has twins, and the first boy is called Rob.
Yeah, that's passion, you know. I love that, you know. That's a tremendous thing to hear, and I think that just shows you how connected people are in the metal world, because it really is a very deep emotional thing for a lot of our fans. And as music is, the great thing about metal is that it doesn't matter what generation you're in, doesn't matter what kind of life level you're at, doesn't matter how much money you've got, there's this camaraderie, this metal spirit that really unites us together with that sound, and particularly with these festivals. This is a great celebration. This Wacken is one of the most important festivals in the world. And it's not only for the bands, but it's for all of these metalheads. A lot of these metalheads see each other once a year at Wacken, and it just keeps that whole special vibe strong and powerful.
My dad played the guitar. He sort of got to a point where he felt that he couldn't get any further, you know, and he kind of sold the guitar. He always had a guitar at home, whatever, but he never played it. But when I joined Priest, I got him a guitar just to say thanks. He got me into the guitar, really. So I got him a guitar just to say thank you for, you know, being supportive and all that. So he plays it now, and he calls me up every now and then. He says, you know, listen to this, and he puts the phone down on the amplifier, and he plays little riffs and stuff. So I might have to steal a few. I think it was, I was about 15 or 16. I used to live out in Sweden, and I had a band out there then. And he came down, and he flew out, and he saw a gig then. But I think the first gig he saw with Priest was probably High Voltage in 2011. It was a big, you know, festival in London. We had family down. It was a big event, a bit like this, on, you know, about a tenth of the scale, really. But so he saw it. It was quite emotional, really, when your parents see you actually, you know, doing something with it.
You got into guitar playing because you nicked your brother's guitar, is that right?
Yeah, he's here, actually. He's over there. I used to go in the room and play his guitar and think he didn't know and put it horribly out of tune, you know. He was responsible for me really playing the guitar, and my mother, who was a pianist. If you're forced to do something, you don't want to do it, so I never really took up the piano skills as I should. I did have the opportunity, but the guitar was different when I picked that up. I realised this is better than working in a factory, you know. It's great for me to take a break from music sometimes. I like that, because then I get excited about picking the guitar up again, and that's when I'm most prolific, and, you know, ideas come to me. So I'm not a person that plays the guitar every day. I have, like, sort of moments when I play it. With a fly fishing in particular, you just got a fly or rod and you just walk down the river and fish, you know.
I started singing when I was a kid and was in some of the early school choir productions, and I just love to sing. Everybody loves to sing. When you sing, it makes you feel good. You know, it doesn't matter if you sing out of tune or whatever. It just makes you feel good. And even as a little kid, I got that feeling, you know. So I'm blessed that all of these years later, I'm with this incredible heavy metal band still doing what I love to do. You can actually see me wearing one of my sister's tops on the Old Grey Whistle test, Bob Harris's Old Grey Whistle test, because we had nothing. We had no money, you know, and what am I going to wear? Because in the very early days, before Priest defined the metal look, it was very kind of, not exactly hippie-ish, but it was electric type of stuff that was from America, the American look. So there was a little bit of that going on in the very early years of Priest. When Glenn wrote Hellbent for Leather, I remember we were at a club or a bar somewhere in the Midlands, And I'd said to Glenn, there's some guys with motorbikes outside. Wouldn't it be great if we asked them if we could borrow a bike and bring it on stage? And we said, yeah, let's do it. So we did, and the place erupted, and that was the start of bringing the bike.
Once the bike had appeared, it felt very natural for us to wear leather and studs. Even now, you know, when we don the leather and studs, we become an entity, not 5 separate musicians or band members. We become an entity. So we like the feel of leather and studs. And Rob started to wear bikers jackets and that, and really was the first one of us to wear the leather. And then we were looking for someone who could just put a slightly different angle on it, you know. And Ray came along, and Ray's such a talented guy. We worked well with him, and it went from strength to strength, really.
That's what I love about this band. Even from day one, we wanted to give you something to remember. We wanted to give you something where you went home and you not only talked about the music, you talked about what the guys were wearing, you talked about what bit of a light show you'd got. And I think that was a great, that's a great part of the heritage of Judas Priest. I mean, I love the socials. When Priest began, what year was that, Glenn? That's 1342.
Yeah, just before electricity.
There was none of this, you know, and we've always grown with the times, particularly with technology. So when the internet kicked off, I think we appreciated the value of the social networking. And particularly with the younger metalheads, it's a great way to stay in contact. It's very addictive.
You know, there's obviously a value to it, you know, that connectivity with the fans, and they can see what you're doing today and right now. And Rob came up to me and said, you know, show me all about it. So I showed him, got him plugged into it, and he hasn't been off it since. I think his phone's vibrating now. You can hear it now.
Like one of these kids, the first thing I do when I wake up in the morning is check my Instagram while I'm still in bed. You know, it's mad.
I felt comfortable joining right from the get-go before we played a note, really. I mean, I've grown up on the band, you know, and heavy metal and twin guitar bands, and it's almost part of your musical makeup, you know. We got on well, and during the Epitaph tour, we sort of created friendships, and, you know, and then I think this tour, the Redeemer of Souls tour, is a continuation of that. You know, it's more comfortable. I feel like we're having a lot more fun up on stage now. Maybe the first one was like an initiation process, you know.
Richie really brought another dimension into the band, you know. When things happen, like you change a player in a football team or in a band or whatever, this teamwork, if you change the dynamic, something exciting should happen, something should go to another level. And that's exactly what happened with Richie, you know. Richie brought just a new, I don't know how to describe it in terms of language, but it's his playing, it's his writing, it's just the general overall Richie Faulkner effect, you know, particularly on stage. So that's the difference between Wacken then and Wacken now. I think that what people will experience tonight at Wacken is Judas Priest pretty much at the top of our game right now in terms of performance, song repertoire, and it's a very, very potent heavy metal performance from Priest in 2015. Thank you, everybody.
Thanks for having us.
It's a pleasure. Keep the metal alive.